everyone, Josh here with Access Network, bringing y'all another Outer Plane video. And today we are on our Outer Plane master sheet because we have some updates to the global tier list. Now, we made these updates a couple days ago, so if you guys want to get early information, in regards to tier list updates or anything else that we actually change or add to the actual master sheet, definitely follow along in the master sheet by getting the link in the description below, as always, on any of our Outer Plane videos. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the actual tier list updates. So we have a huge PvP meta shift, and with it brought a lot of units up and a lot of units down. Some units may not have moved up much in overall grade or total score, so they kind of remain the same. We did add the 2 new heroes. We finally got them all graded up, and that is, of course, the new God Stella, Demiurge Stella, and Hannibal Lee, which we'll get to later on as well. We also made some, we also made some visual changes to the tier list. Hopefully, hopefully you guys like the new changes. We actually went ahead and added the element to, what type of dungeon or boss that you're actually facing with the categories that we have listed here. And there are 12 categories in total, including the arena, defense, offense, and story mode. So we wanted to go ahead and do all that. One little change that I have yet still to make is on raid guards. That should be light and dark. I have to go make a new image for that in Photoshop, so I do apologize for that. But if you are watching this and you are a bit confused on that, that should be light and dark, okay? So keep that in mind for the raid guards. We have Maxwell raid. Obviously up there we have the normal tower. We have the green special dungeon, the blue special dungeon, red. And then, of course, for the gear dungeons, all 3 colors are represented as well. And if we get the light and dark dungeons, if we, if we get the new hard tower or anything of that nature, we, of course, will add those additional categories in later updates as we get them added to the game. I do know that the new tower difficulty should be coming in August, so we still got a little bit of time for that, so we'll have to see what happens. But there you guys and gals go. Everything is rated accordingly to, a lot of information and feedback that we've been given from not only within our own community, but the Outer Plane community in general. Lots of testing, lots of top-ranked players putting in input and stuff like that, and a lot of things that we've personally tested here. So we try to make these as accurate as possible, as we always do. Veronica is still sitting at the top, looking pretty at 4.4. She still just missed it by 0.1 to be rounded up to an SS total grade hero. So we have yet, still at this point, ladies and gentlemen, even since our last update, we do not have an SS total grade hero in the game, which is actually kind of a good thing. That means that there is no one hero that just completely dominates all content available in the game, which is kind of nice. That means there's a lot of variety going on, okay? So that's very, very good. God Stella, new God Stella. And before we actually get to that, let me know in the comment section below if you do like the new visual changes to the tier list, or if you want it reverted back to the way we had it before, which is a little bit more plain, but maybe more simplistic. Let me know all that and more in the comment section below. I'll be glad to read those as much as possible. But back to the tier list. So God Stella has just jumped straight up to the number 2 spot in the game at a 4.2. She's pretty much solid everywhere outside, of course, the twins, because you don't really want to use her on the twins, because you don't want to use AoE attacks too much, because if you keep triggering the second boss and they keep counterattacking with the debuffs, it's just not a good time. So you really don't want to run too much AoE there, even with a unit like Stella, who's doing tons of damage. She even has self-sustain with, of course, her barriers. It's just not something that you ideally want to run there, so we had to give her a C there. Outside of that, she's pretty much solid everywhere in the game, and the fact that she's still ranked out as a 4.2 with a C on there is actually very impressive. So she is just an amazing hero, and she is currently a part of the top meta for both offense and defense in arena. She's a disgusting hero, and she's also going to be grading very highly in the current raid that we have. We don't know what the new raid is going to be yet. We'll have to see if they change the Geos Guardians. If they do, we'll have to make a whole new category for that, and obviously we're going to make a new category for the next raid battle. But as of right now, she's going to be ranking an S on Maxwell. She's going to be doing additional damage to bosses. She's going to be doing very powerful single target damage. Even though it's an AoE, it still hits extremely hard if you build her accordingly. If you got a lot of high evasion on her, she's not going to be taking too much damage either, so she's going to be very sustainable and last long in the fight. And then, of course, for the Chaos Guardians, with her 10% of the enemy's max HP damage on her chain, she's going to be hitting those Chaos Guardians very, very hard. Again, if any of those things change for the next raid, we will make new categories, so keep that in mind. All right. Number 3, we got our girl Noah, sitting still really strong in the game, even with her nerfs to her chain battery. She was basically abusing chain. She was basically abusing chain points. With her basic, she was able to attack twice, getting 2 different crits. So she's getting like 20 free chain points right there from the talisman. Obviously, they took that away from her and Vera, but that did not really change her much at all because she's still a powerhouse, doing tons and tons of damage. And she still can help you set up, your chains very well because of her own chain ability of giving you free chain points after you use a chain combo. So she's still somewhat of a chain battery for you if you're still trying to use her that way. But outside of that, she's still just going to be doing tons and tons of damage. So 4.2 for her, number 3 in the game. 3.9 for her, still very solid in the game. 3.7, number 4 overall. We got our girl Ren. Still a beast in PvP. If you look at a lot of the top 50 teams in Arena, especially on defense, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of Rens. Ren is still an amazing hero for that type of content. Going to be strong, of course, still in story mode, still strong in the special fire dungeon. She's just still a very solid hero, even at 3.7. It may not look like an appealing number, but again, these are out of 5, not out of 10. She's still a very strong hero and still worthy of the total grade of S. And then we have our girl Claire. Claire just seemingly over time, like a fine wine, she gets better with age. The more time that goes by, Claire just seems to be more and more and more impressive. And there's even a case that she might even move up slightly in Arena in the near future with the new Arena League system coming out, and the first buff being max HP increase to your team. With that, there might be a possibility, at least for those 12 weeks, that Claire might be able to move up to an S in Arena offense and defense. We'll have to see, because you could make her a fast Claire. She gets that ult off. She's doing a lot of things for your team with her shields, her passive healing, and of course the barriers. The damage that she can provide with her AoE. So she's doing a lot of things there with an ultimate. 3.6, she's an S grade, just an overall well-rounded hero. One of the better healers in the game, obviously. Just a top tier unit, and only a 1-star, which is just mind-boggling to me. All right, and to round out our top 5, we have our girl Tio. And Tio, what a nuisance she is. She's been around for a long time. She's always been considered one of the better units in the entire game and the best 2-star hero overall, at least according to our tier list. 3.5, just made the grade for an S. She's going to be good pretty much everywhere outside of the Red Special Dungeon, because the Red Special Dungeon is pretty much, you just want to be very tanky, have a lot of self-sustain, and just sit there and do tons of damage with whatever strong water heroes you have. And unfortunately, Tio is not quite as good in that regard as Claire, because Tio does need a lot of debuffs to go off to really get her passive healing to take flight. Claire doesn't really need that. Claire's just going to provide that regardless, because that's just the way her skill set is designed. So she does lose a little bit of favor there between herself and Claire, and that is really why she's a 3.5 and actually not higher than Claire. So it's really just that one special dungeon that's kind of separating the two for Claire and Tio. Outside of that, I'd say they're pretty even keel. They're both extremely powerful healing units in the game, very solid supports in the game. They do a lot for your team, and again, they're not even 3-stars, so it's impressive. And then moving down the list a little bit more, we have Valentine and number 6. Still a very impressive, still a very powerful hero. She lost a little bit on Arena defense because of the new change with Stella, because if you have her on your Arena defense, people are going to be plucking you off left and right with their new Stellas, because As soon as that Valentine AI decides, hey, let's go ahead and use my ultimate, that Stella on the other side, or Stellas, if people are lucky enough to have both, we'll just counterattack you to death, and then it's an easy win. So, yeah, Valentine has lost a little bit on the arena defense. A lot of people could probably even argue that maybe she should be an A there, but she's still a very powerful hero and still provides a lot of benefits to you in PvP. So we didn't want to really move her too far down beyond, below an S. We thought that was fair. But again, you could make the argument that it is an A there, which would, of course, lower her score slightly. But she's still a very powerful hero. Barely, she almost made the grade for an S, almost. But she's a high A right now overall. There are a few other areas of the game where she does get hurt a little bit in the score. But again, when you are looking at this tier list, you don't want to look at the total grade and total score and think, okay, that's just the total value of what I should consider the hero being. No, you want to look at the value of each individual category to kind of get the context of why they are graded that way. You want to kind of take everything collectively. So if you are trying to run her for a specific thing, like let's say you want to run her for story mode or tower, you're going to see that she's one of the better units in the game that you should definitely build her for that. So keep that in mind, guys and gals, because I know a lot of you just kind of look at the total score, total grade, and be like, oh, that unit's just complete trash. No, the overall scoring and grade is just to give you an idea of what everything is collectively overall. But individually, they could still be very powerful in select content. So please keep that in mind. All right, then we have Siren at 3.4, 3.3 for the other Stella. Lapis is a 3.3. Now, Lapis was going to be an SS in the Chaos Guardians, but we had to bump her down to an S because of the new Stella just coming in and just being outright better. Because she's going to have a higher percentage, plus she's going to be providing you with tons of damage on top of that because of the way her counterattacking ability works and just how strong her modifiers are on her basic ability that she's going to be using. Plus, she's going to be providing your team with a barrier for at least, at the beginning of the fight if you are 6-star. And even if you're not 6-star, you're going to be getting those barriers on her burst for herself. So her upkeep is going to be very, very strong. Or I'm sorry, her self-sustain is going to be very, very strong. And her damage output is going to be very, very high. So we had to, of course, keep Lapis at an S for the Chaos Guardians. Because, as you know, Lapis has a very strong chain ability for those said bosses. So, very, very good. Cindy is now SS in the arena offensive defense because she's pretty much the meta right now. Everybody out there and their grandmother is running evasion. She's going to be helping that with her accuracy up, her attack up. You're going to be building her extremely fast. Some people are even building her faster than their Valentines, which is what I do personally because I rather have the attack up and accuracy up more so than the crit rate and crit damage up because I rather be able to actually land my hits instead of missing them. All right. So Cindy is now up to a 3.3. She's a high A. Vera is a 3.0. Leo is a 2.9, but has the room to potentially go up higher because of the current shift in the arena offense and defense. So you could see Leo potentially move up to like an S on offense, SS defense, or stay at an A on offense and move up to an SS on defense, especially with the Arena League that's going to be coming for 12 weeks very, very soon, with the first buff being, again, max HP increase. Very huge there. So Leo could be moving up as well. We'll see. Got Kate there at 2.9, 2.8 for Francesca. Still the strongest single target damage dealer in the game outside of a Lapis ultimate with the right setup. I had to throw that in here because I know some people's gonna be like, but bro, I saw Lapis doing like 40, 50, 60k. Yeah, it's possible, but you need a lot of debuffs to pull that off. So keep that in mind. That takes an incredible amount of setup to do that, whereas Francesca just does high damage regardless. So Francesca, unfortunately, we live in a game that is basically more or less AoE, AoE, AoE. Thus, single target damage dealers aren't really getting all the love that they really deserve, but Francesca is still a very strong single target hero. Got Maxwell sitting there at 2.8. We got Sophia 2.7. Sophia might be going down a little bit. We've been doing some more testing with Sophia. She hits like a wet blanket compared to a lot of these other single target damage dealers that we were testing her against. I did not like Sophia's damage output at all. The only thing that she still has working in her favor is she's going to be having a lot of turns because she's going to have a speed up boost that's going to be basically at 100% uptime. and she also gets a priority up on her basic. So she will be attacking quite a bit. And if she gets a kill with her ultimate, she's going to get more priority. So she has the capabilities of doing a lot of attacks, which might play into why she hits like a wet noodle, but the damage output is just very, very underwhelming, to say the least. We have Finn in here at 2.7. We got Edith at 2.7, with potential to possibly move up to SS on Arena defense at least. Arena offense, I'm not entirely sure if she will ever hit that height, but defense possibly. The more we use Edith, the more she's also impressing, because her counterattacks with her damage, it's a good combination. And then you also have evasion to throw in there as well. She is not a bad hero at all. She can actually 1v for you in the right circumstance. So she is a very powerful hero. We have Dolly at 2.4, 2.3 for Beth. Eternals at 2.3 as well. They're all being kind of hurt really bad in arena offense and defense because of the new meta. Otherwise, their rankings would be higher overall. We have Iris at 2.3. We have Hannibal Lee at 2.2, with potential to possibly move up a little bit more on the arena defensive side. Maybe A, maybe even an S, if you really want to kind of stretch it a little bit, because she is starting to see some use in arena defense. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and continue to keep testing, because she might be moving up. 2.2 for her for now. Ava 2.1, 2.0 for Adelie. Philia 1.9. Eliza 1.9. That new buff did nothing for her in arena at all. She still is, you know, a lower tier C for both, because again, the Stellas are just roaming around. They're lurking. They're waiting to take you out. You debuff and they're ready to strike. So unfortunately, that new buff to Eliza did not really change much of anything about where she stands and really any of this content. It's unfortunate. It's definitely one of those buffs that they should have done a lot better job with, and it is unfortunate. Sigma 1.8. She might move up on arena offense and defense slightly as well, because she might have some use with her priority increase with her ultimate. I know it's only like 10%, but 10% might be all you need. We'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Rona 1.7, Marion 1.7, Alpha 1.7, Lily 1.6, 1.5 for Snow. Pesketh is 1.5, 1.4 for Lane. Tanya is 1.3, 1.3 for Lisha, or Lisha, however you want to say her name. Yuri's a 1.3, 1.3 for Blue. Alice is a 1.2, and as you guys can tell, you know, just quick little spoiler alert, poor Alice has now been relegated yet again to the worst 3-star in the game. She was in the PvP meta for literally 1 week after her buffs. 1 single week, and then they killed her instantly. So that's another case of them buffing a hero that did nothing for them to improve them overall in the game. So it is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Matter of fact, in case you were wondering, I had Alice built with her EE. I had her built up really good, her skill up and everything. She was starting to do really good for me in PvP, and then when they released a new Stella, completely killed her off. So I recalled her. So Alice, she was the a 1 week she was a 1 week wonder, and a lot of people didn't even have her built yet. So a lot of people didn't even get to experience what I got to experience for a short period of time with how strong Alice really was. But maybe she'll come back in the future. I don't know. But this anti-debuff meta that we're in right now, she is completely screwed. So Alice is relegated back to being the worst 3-star in the game. So those new buffs you just gave her, Smilegate, yeah. Shu 1.0, 1.0 for Fenrir. Party 0.9. For some reason, Party skill 1 says that it's 50% chance or whatever to land a burn. It seems very false at this point. We've tested her so many times. Even other people have tested her. Her burns are not landing nowhere near 50% rate. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if her modifiers are incorrect or what, or her percentages are incorrect. I don't know. But something is definitely up with Party. I don't know if she's bugged out or whatnot, but right now she's a 0.9. Aurochs 0.9. K 0.8, 0.7 for Rico. Flameberg 0.7, and of course our overall worst graded hero in the game, Guzum 0.3, might be moving up, because we did some testing the other day, testing single target damage dealers, and obviously he does have an AoE skill 2, but his ultimate and his skill 1 are single target, and he had bleeds in his kit. he actually was doing some incredible numbers, especially for being a 1-star hero. His single target numbers were actually graded out, or I'm sorry, they ranked out at around number 2 or 3 behind, obviously, Francesca. And that was very surprising because we tested a lot of other, more or less single target damage dealers alongside him using similar gear and all maxed out because we were using the simulator to go in there and test them at level 100, 6-star, all their skills unlocked, all their bursts available, all that good stuff. And Guzum actually impressed way more than I ever expected. So Guzum might be moving up the ladder very soon. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to do some more testing with him. I'm going to build him up on my personal main account. I'm going to take him out in the wild, test him a little bit more, and really see what I can get out of him, because I was thoroughly impressed with the tests that we were doing, where he was actually out DPSing some of the other, 1 and 2-star single targets that I considered higher on my priority list than him. And yeah, I was, again, thoroughly impressed. So we'll see what Guzum does in the future. Is the boy going to move out of the basement and move up to the penthouse? We'll have to see. But that is going to be it for the tier list update. Sorry it was a little long-winded, but I wanted to kind of go through all these because I felt like we haven't done that for the past couple tier list videos. I want to give some added context to some of the things that we did, some of the changes that we made, why some things moved up and some things moved down. But overall, that is the update. Let me know what you all think about these in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tick notifications, and join us in the Discord in the description below. And of course, as always, follow us on Twitter at Exodus Network to stay up to date on everything that we do here on the channel. Until next time, peace.